So welcome to the completing the square part of the course. So we're going to look at completing the square and recognising x plus p all squared plus q is a question to complete the square. It's a very common exam style question, so let's dive right in. Okay, so what do we mean by completing the square? Well, first of all, if we have a plus b all squared, we know that we're going to have a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. Similarly, if we have x plus 4 all squared, we're going to have x squared plus 8x plus 16. So notice what we've got here is this kind of doubles for this part, and then we square it for this part. How about x plus 6 all squared? Well, we're going to have x squared plus 12x plus 36. So in this case, what would we have to add to make a perfect square? So what I mean by that is, what would we have to add so it's a perfect square so we can put it into the brackets all squared? Well, let's have x squared plus 12x. What would we have to add to this to make it a perfect square so we can have x plus something all squared? If you'd said 36, you'd be absolutely spot on, but let me explain how we did this. You would halve 12 and you'd square it. So what is half of 12? It's 6. What is 6 squared? 36. And then we can have this in the brackets here, x plus 6 all squared. So this gives you this answer here. Nothing we haven't seen before, hopefully. We have another video on that. So what would you add to make a perfect square in this case? X squared plus 10x. Well, let's divide 10 by 2 to give 5. And then let's square 5, which is 25. And so we can express that as x plus 5 all squared, which is a perfect square. Okay, so now we have to complete the square. Let's express x squared plus 14x in the form of x plus p all squared plus q. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this x squared plus 14x, we're going to take this 14 and we're going to halve it, which is 7. And then we're going to put it in this form here, so x plus 7 all squared. But we're going to be given an extra term here because we have to also square the 7, right? Which is 49. So x plus 7 all squared gives you x squared plus 14x plus 49. But we want to have only this. So what we have to do is, because we've got an extra 49 here, we're going to have to subtract 49 from that answer. So we can express this as x plus 7 all squared minus 49. Because 49 and minus 49 cancel out, and what you're left with is, this is just another representation of saying this, but it's expressed in this form up here. Let's have another example. Let's try this one. Express x squared plus 16x in the form of x plus p squared plus q. Okay, so we're going to take this x squared plus 16x. What we're going to do, we're going to halve the 16, give us 8, and then we're going to square the 8 to give us 64. So what we have is, in brackets all squared, we're going to have x plus 8 all squared. We're not done yet because we've got an extra 64 onto this, so we're going to have to take 64 off this answer. So we are going to be left with x plus 8 squared minus 64, and that is the correct answer. Okay, let's have another example. Let's express x squared plus 20x in the form of x plus p squared, x plus p all squared plus q. Okay, so again, we're going to divide 20 by 2 to give us 10, and then we're going to square 10 to give 100. And then we can express this as x plus 10 all squared. But we know that equals x squared plus 20x plus 100. We've got an extra 100, so we're going to have to take that 100 off. So we're going to have x plus 10 all squared minus 100. And that is the answer.